In Cosmic Year 1, humanity, amid the boundless cosmos, established a home in the Allure Galaxy. Thus, the Cosmic Empire was born. In Cosmic Year 128, some humans migrated to the Nasia Galaxy and founded the Glory Federation. Two forces stood in opposition for hundreds of years. Meanwhile, the Chaosis Galaxy gradually rose to prominence during this era. Under external threats, the Sanctite Court, bound by an ancient faith, also saw its authority in the Empire grow with each passing day. And so, in the Cosmic Year 649, a new power struggle began to unfold under the reign of the Empire Empress. In the morning, the rising melody resounds outside my window and wakes me up from my dreams. In the Cosmic Empire, only male rulers throughout history have enjoyed this treatment, but as the Empire's future empress, I rightfully deserve it. Once the song ends, robot attendants serve pre-meal morning tea. The head housemaid begins her morning briefing.
Your Majesty, your coronation ceremonial fleet is waiting for the final confirmation. The ceremonial officials will discuss the court guard's formal attire this afternoon. Furthermore, the royal banquet hall is ready.
In the middle of sipping my drink, I pause, then I put down my teacup and use a silk napkin to dab the corners of my mouth. The scripts have arrived?
Yes, Your Majesty.
The image on the floating display changes. It reveals an interstellar bard from centuries past. This is one of the Empire's traditions. Every ruler has performed in a play at the royal palace before their coronation. This symbolizes the Empire's glory and the ruler's artistic transformation from a mortal to a national symbol. In other words, their will shall become one with the Empire's destiny.
As you requested, the plays for this performance were all selected from scripts adapted by famous interstellar bards and brought into the Empire. The theatrical celebration will last 2 weeks, and the individual who shall play the leading actor...
The holographic image switches to the banquet hall. Surrounded by nobles, two people dance together.
Since he will also share the first dance with you at the coronation ceremony, the criteria are strict.
A robot brings a silver tray with 5 distinctly styled invitations.
As per your instructions, the officiant has selected these distinguished guests. They meet the requirements. All of them hope to have the honor of sharing the first dance with you.
5 candidates. None of them is to be underestimated if they can stand out in the entire galaxy. After all, this dance represents not only the Empress's favor, but also a binding of power. Whoever stands by my side will see their faction unite with the Empire in ascent. They shall stand above countless galactic forces. Looking at the exquisite invitations before me, I reach out. My fingers glide across the cool surfaces adorned with letters. Then my hand stops on... Before my coronation, I still have plenty of stately matters to deal with as the Empress. Offering routine prayers for my people's welfare in the chapel is one of them.
Your Majesty.
Having completed the prayers, I'm about to leave when someone calls out to me. When I turn, I see Rafayel wearing the sanctarical robes. He stands on the steps in front of the temple. The prayers have already ended. Why are you still here, your quintessence?
You haven't left either, Your Majesty.
Last week, I sent Rafayel an invitation to perform. It should be within his capacity as the Sanctite Court Sanctarch. Given their relationship between the Empire and the Court, I assumed that Rafayel would refuse. Unexpectedly, he accepted. Although I missed the opportunity to use public opinion as a means to accuse the Court of disrespecting the Empress, I can use this to gauge his stance on the coronation.
The court bears the faith of countless imperial citizens. How could I leave early when it comes to matters like praying for the people's welfare?
Rafayel walks down the steps and reaches out to me.
There are always those who assume the court has ulterior motives. Wouldn't you agree, Your Majesty?
I don't acknowledge his hand. Instead, I smooth my sleeves and look into Rafayel's eyes. I believe your quintessence shares my devotion to the Empire and wouldn't want to disappoint the imperial citizenry.
If your majesty is referring to the play, please be at ease.
Since your quintessence has assured me, I will look forward to the day of the official performance. I leave the chapel without giving Rafayel another glance. The day of the first rehearsal is finally here. As scheduled, I head to the rehearsal space. The palace's corridors wind and curve, and I haven't walked far before spotting a familiar figure at the end of the hallway. He stands near a giant ornamental aquarium. Under the sunlight, fish slowly swim, rippling light on the water's surface seemingly touches Rafayel's profile. He appears to have been standing here for quite some time. If I remember correctly, your hometown is by the ocean. Fish should be a common sight there. If you like these fish, I can have a custom fish tank made and sent to the Sanctus Court. Rafayel isn't wearing his elaborate sanctarchal robes today. The fish tank's blue glow softens his figure to an extent.
That is unnecessary. My homeland doesn't trap fish in aquariums. In any case, I can't say it's pleasing to the eye. I'm just surprised the Empress, oft drowning in imperial matters, has time for leisurely pursuits.
Is this your quintessence first time in the palace's private quarters?
Yes, it's all because of your majesty's graceful generosity.
Since we have experienced a chance encounter, Rafayel and I walk past the giant aquarium and we soon arrive at the rehearsal space. We normally don't talk unless imperial matters are involved, so our conversation topics are limited. Inevitably, we end up discussing the play we're going to perform.
Because of your majesty's astounding efforts, the mysterious bard's texts have a chance to return to the stage. Your majesty's selection of Knight of the Revelrous Rite is somewhat shocking.
I glance at him and wait for him to continue.
A god disguises himself as a mortal and returns to his hometown. It's so he can punish the monarch and their family for refusing to acknowledge his divinity. He bewitches those who once persecuted his family and ultimately makes them destroy their country with their own hands. I didn't expect your majesty to like this story.
I have witnessed your skill at reading people once more. In fact, I'm not happy with the current ending. Those who truly bring disaster are often not the ones who defy a god's will. Rather, they're fools who comply with fate and do exactly as they're told.
The result of defying or complying with fate is inherently uncertain.
I smile at Rafayel and stop in my tracks. I'm surprised that your quintessence would agree to perform with me. Rafayel doesn't speak. He turns and gazes at the aquarium. We have already walked to the other side of it. This is the spot where I normally feed fish.
They're not allowed to go beyond this glass prison. What a pitiful sight.
Following his gaze, I look at the stingray nearby. Fish are fragile creatures. Without water, they would suffocate and die. The aquarium exists to protect them.
Fish remember who feed them, but they've forgotten who imprisoned them here in the first place.
Being under someone's protection is better than losing one's home. Impatient for food, a glowing stingray leaps out of the water. I quickly step back and narrowly avoid getting soaked. But Rafayel isn't fortunate. Most of his robes are drenched and he looks rather disheveled. I smile and gently touch the fish that wanted to greet me. See, even fish know who truly cares for them. Humans certainly do, don't you think?
In the play, the god was once imprisoned in a dungeon by a monarch. All of it was under the pretense of protection. But in the end, he freed himself from those protective restraints and reclaimed his freedom.
Rafayel takes out a handkerchief and gracefully wipes away the water from his temple.
Between the god and the monarch, who do you think would become the fish that leaps out of the water? Your Majesty.
The palace and stage gleams brilliantly under the spotlight.
The god has disguised himself as a mortal prophet. He returns to his homeland. He bewitches the people in the palace, but our ruler hasn't been deceived by his wiles.
Raphael, wearing a wreath decorated with flowers, has been brought to my palace. Rope binds his wrists. Though he has been captured, his face shows no trace of humiliation.
I come from a land where flowers bloom across the mountains. The god has ordained me to bring his sacred rites to the palace.
Oh, his power is the vitality of the grapevines, the nectar that makes all forget sorrows, the rapture that intoxicates. To reject him is to reject a part of life itself.
You speak only in falsehoods. How dare you use a god's name? You deserve to be punished.
Disrespecting the gods is also worthy of punishment.
Since you claim to act on behalf of Dionysus, where is he?
He is at my side. It's unfortunate that those who disrespect the gods cannot see him. I only bring joy to the people and let them forget their worldly troubles. How is this a crime?
The red curtain slowly falls and is accompanied by thunderous applause. In the passage that must be taken to reach the backstage area, the lights gradually dim. After a long walk, a cacophony of voices reappears. Members from a theater troupe are moving back and forth, yet only one stands motionless in the most prominent spot. Waiting for me, he makes me pause, my steps slow as I approach him. Why are you still here, your quintessence?
You already know how to answer that, Your Majesty. Why is it necessary to ask?
I recall hearing from the lady in waiting today. The rumors about the play is likely to suggest I'm being threatened by the Sanctite court. It seems even the Sanctite isn't completely unconcerned about the rumors. Hearing the probing and mockery in my words, he turns to the side.
My participation is for peace in the Empire. I imagine Your Majesty will also have instances where my aid is required.
He turns, and before I can react, he plucks off a piece of fluff that was in my hair.
Mature seeds understand that they need the wind's help if they wish to fly far.
While speaking, he prepares to discard the fluff and the leaf. I grasp his hand and take the piece of fluff to throw it away. When the wind rises, a seed will fly. But where it flies to, and whether it lands on grass or follows the water's current, isn't under the wind's dominion. Raphael pauses, then he smiles and nods.
Let it soar. No matter where it goes, it has to fly first, right?
Raphael and I are standing close together. The golden wreath made from a grapevine rests on his head. His handsome appearance makes me unable to look away. It's as if I'm standing before a charming, dangerous god. I lean in. Under Raphael's gaze, I use his shoulder to support and remove the wreath that symbolizes his identity. And just like that, he becomes the familiar Sanctarch I know. This is more pleasing to the eye. The god bewitched a monarch. It's a shame I'm not that monarch, and Raphael isn't a real god. Even if that were the case, it still depends on how I want the script to be written. Although the harmony we displayed during the performance silenced some rumors, they always seem to quickly resurface. I have a vague sense that someone is manipulating public opinion behind the scenes, so I launch an investigation. Meanwhile, the royal blessing event proceeds as scheduled. I'm busy once more. It's finally over. As the Empress, I must bestow fresh flowers and coins minted for the celebration to my people. They represent the Empire's blessing. A day of handling practically everything has left me somewhat overwhelmed, but I still try my best to maintain my composure. Someone offers me a pitcher of water. I turn and realize it's Rafayel. He had blended in with the crowd. You're still here, your quintessence.
I'm also an imperial citizen, so I should receive a blessing.
I raise my eyebrow and hand over the last flower. Raphael is about to take it when a fluffy creature with a long tail and black ears suddenly leaps up and snatches the blossom.
The audacity! Your Majesty, I shall retrieve the flower.
Do you need to get it back?
It offended Your Majesty.
It's unnecessary. There's no rule that says blessings can only be given to humans. It's also an imperial citizen.
I shall thank your majesty on its behalf.
Why? Do you know that little creature?
It lives nearby, and normally visits the Sanctide Chapel's garden to look for food.
Rafayel's tone is nonchalant. The Sanctide Chapel has a garden.
Every flower and tree is a miracle of nature, and being in nature's presence allows people to cast aside distracting thoughts. It's not open to the public yet. However, I can give you a tour if you're interested, Your Majesty.
This is the first time I have visited the Sanctide Chapel's rear garden. Plants I can't identify grow freely throughout the area. As Rafayel said, this place does allow people to cast aside distracting thoughts. Leaves sway in the breeze as schools of fish silently glide among them. These are...
They're holograms. They aren't real.
I enter the garden's depths. The path is made of floating stones with an unusual texture. A faint scent of something fermenting drifts through the air. Laden with purple fruit clusters, vines hang from curved metal frames. These are grapes, yes. I have seen similar plants in the royal family's ancient tomes. Throughout the years, plants have evolved beyond their original forms to adapt to this planet. But this grapevine has remained unchanged from what I have seen in illustrations. I reach out to touch its leaves.
Be careful. It's poisonous.
They seem graceful yet deadly. I can't help but be reminded of someone I know.
Sometimes what's truly deadly is those who are too bold for their own good. Poison is the least of one's worries.
Rafayel picks a fruit and hands it to me.
Will your majesty be that person?
You seem to suit that archetype more. Assuming Rafayel won't harm me in this situation, I take one grape and put it in my mouth. As expected, it has a sweet, refreshing flavor. Rafayel looks somewhat surprised.
Your majesty is courageous. This is actually a grapevine.
Plants in the cosmos have long since lost their former appearance. You managed to obtain this plant and cultivate it well. It must have taken a considerable amount of effort. Intending to carefully examine its purple crystalline skin, I pick another grape. Unexpectedly, that little creature darts out again. It snatches the grape from my hand and runs off to play with it. Does it dislike me? Rafayel, upon hearing this, laughs. It sounds somewhat genuine.
On the contrary. It was the former emperor's plaything and was constantly tortured for entertainment. Then it escaped. It wandered into the Sanctide Chapel's property, discovered that food would occasionally be present, and stubbornly refused to leave. Despite its greed for food, it's cautious. Therefore, its appearance here proves that it doesn't dislike being in your presence.
Rafayel picks a cluster of grapes and places it in my palm.
Here's your compensation. You're different from the previous emperors.
I hold the grapes and look in the direction where the little creature had run off to. I won't be like those dead rulers. Not in my politics, not in my end.
That's something to look forward to. If your majesty is willing, you're welcome to taste the wine once it's ready. It's late. You should head back, your majesty.
Rafayel turns to leave. Feeling the substantial weight in my hands, I call out to him.
You have something to say to me?
I haven't given you a blessing yet. I rummage through my pockets only to freeze. I have no more flowers. There's only one coin. Rafayel accepts the coin bearing the Empress's portrait. His fingers pause. I'm not sure if it's my imagination, but there seems to be a gentle smile on his face.
This is perfect. I accept your Majesty's blessing.
As the day of my coronation draws near, I visit the Sancti Chapel as is tradition. I must receive the Sanctarch's blessing in the morning. Wearing royal ceremonial robes, I walk across the carpet strewn with flower petals to stand before Rafayel.
Now then, may your Majesty guide the stars and the Empire on a new path.
Rafayel touches my head with a grapevine, then he takes my hand and presses it onto a spread of sacred cards before us. Drawing cards to predict a nation's future is considered an ancient tradition for the coronation ceremony, but can a person's life and death be determined by a prophecy or two?
That depends on what choice your Majesty will make.
Without waiting for Rafayel to answer, I draw 2 cards.
Your Majesty has drawn the Flamma Arcana and the Sword Arcana.
As soon as the words leave his mouth, whispers erupt.
The sacred card says the Empress's existence will bring fire and war to the Empire.
The crowd becomes agitated. During the commotion, someone knocks over a candle, which causes a ring of fire to flare up near my feet.
The candle fell over?
We're doomed! Doomed, I say! This is an ominous sign!
The fire doesn't make me panic. I look into Raphael's eyes. And Rafayel is equally calm. He picks up the candlestick from the ground and turns his wrist to examine the base.
There's no need to panic. The candlestick wasn't secured properly.
He's helping me leave this predicament unscathed. Raphael's fingers flick the wick a few times. The candle is lit once more. I look away, scoop up holy water to douse myself, and walk through the ring of fire. There shouldn't be only one interpretation for the sacred cards.
It seems your Majesty already has an alternate reading.
Rafayel holds the 2 cards between his index and middle finger as he hands them over. I reach out to take them, and our fingers touch for a moment. I spread out the cards and lift my chin slightly. Fire heralds light. I believe I will bring light and warmth to the Empire. And war is not the embodiment of calamity. I shall expand the Empire's authority and strengthen it. I throw the cards into the flames behind me. A small cluster of fire rises before dying down. I wonder if this has provided you with new insights. When Rafayel looks up at me again, he reveals an unusual expression. Is this a form of approval? I can't tell. Fortunately, the rest of the ceremony proceeds without any more incidents. Rafayel takes out silvery blue pigment that was ground from the stellar minerals. Rafayel dips his finger into it and touches my forehead.
Your Majesty shall witness this world's chaos with a clear, bright gaze.
His finger moves from the tip of my nose and brushes over my lips. The sensation is cool as he draws a wave pattern on my back.
The courage burning within the Empress shall transform into endless waves. Her Majesty shall lead the Empire forward without retreating even once.
During the Empress's coronation ceremony, celebrations within the royal palace never seem to end. Today is the day of audience. In the palace, I sit on the honorable throne and listen to the overlords below as they introduce their various gifts.
To commemorate Your Majesty's assistance in driving away the interstellar monsters from our planet, we have painted a portrait of the Empress.
Looking at the portrait's enormous, imposing depiction of the Empress, I force myself to smile.
Our planet's technology is limited, so we can only compose a poem for the Empress.
The exaggerated, lengthy verses are an ordeal. Many of the individuals present are already drowsy. I'm also tired, but I still maintain my composure. I nod and smile when appropriate. Suddenly, a small cluster of flames ignites at the table in front of me. Huh? The faint fragrance emanating from them is somewhat refreshing. I'm immediately alert. But it's familiar. I've smelled it somewhere before. My gaze sweeps over everyone. When I spot Rafayel, I suddenly recall a memory. It was when I danced with Rafayel. That scent came from him. As expected, I lock eyes with Rafayel. He's toying with a teacup in his hands. When our gazes meet, he raises the cup in my direction. Just as I'm about to express my gratitude, another cluster of small flames appears. This time they appear as the words, "You're welcome." The long audience finally ends and the overlords and officials slowly leave. Sipping tea, Rafayel stays. When we're the only ones left, Rafayel rises. You haven't left. Did the earlier performance lack excitement?
I believe the most exciting part hasn't started yet. Has Your Majesty forgotten? We need to hone our dancing skills today.
A maid leads us to the spacious dance room. Rafayel sets aside his outer robes when he turns to a painting on the wall. It depicts the ocean. I bought it many years ago at a charity auction. Are you interested, dear quintessence?
Your Majesty's taste in decor is excellent.
It's not a mere decoration. It's my companion for practicing etiquette. My words attract Rafayel's attention. Aside from being used for dance practice, this room was also where I learned etiquette as a child. I was young, and the lessons were long. Inevitably, there were moments when it was tedious and I couldn't continue. I discovered that this painting could bring me inner peace, so I bought it here.
I'm surprised it has so much power.
Isn't it remarkable? Whenever I want to give up, I look at it and calm down. I walk toward it. Now I'm one step away from the painting. It's a pity I still don't know who the artist is. I'd like to ask about the location it depicts.
You can ask the people on my home planet. Someone will tell you.
You know this place?
I wouldn't say I know the place. Actually, I painted it. Isn't it magical?
The mischievous smile on Rafayel's face vanishes instantly. Before I can react, he picks up a book from the nearby bookshelf.
These books should also be your companions?
They are for practicing etiquette. You could say they are my opponents. Unsure if I want to get payback for that smile, I take the chance while his guard is down. I pull out a book and place it on his head. Rafayel looks somewhat unaccustomed to this. With the slightest movement, the book tatters. It's about to fall. Don't move. I place one hand on his shoulder for support and use the other to steady the book. Rafayel listens to me and stays still. But when I let go, the book slightly tilts. An object slides out. I move to catch it, but Rafayel has already extended his hand.
A paper crown?
I made it for myself when I was a child.
Your Majesty had grand ambitions even as a child.
Is it strange? I had to give myself some motivation though. Flames ignite at Rafayel's fingertips. Before I can stop him, he burns away the crown's outer edges. Upon closer inspection, I note the crown's new shape. The flames have transformed it into a real crown. Rafayel places it in my hands.
I believe this is more suitable to what an empress should have. However, a real crown isn't this light.
I cradle a crown and steadily place it on top of my head. So? Watch me. Its weight doesn't matter. I won't let it fall. Days quietly slip by in rehearsals and preparations. At long last, the play's final act arrives. It's being performed on stage. The god is supposed to lure the monarch into a crowd of bewitched citizens. Ultimately, the ruler is killed by the god. But I don't like this ending.
If you are a mortal, then do not resist the gods.
The god continues to lure me in so that I move closer to him, but another ending flashes through my mind. No! I seize the grapevine that symbolizes the god's power. I act as if I had only been pretending before. Rafayel is momentarily stunned. Then he understands what I want to do. His expression shifts as he improvises accordingly to my performance.
I never thought it was simply an act.
Correct. What I truly wanted was to imprison you and make you serve me. And the other end of the grapevine is still in Raphael's hand, but neither of us is willing to let go. I use a bit of force. Unexpectedly, Raphael allows it. He clasps my palm.
As you wish, my liege. I am now in your hands. However, everything between us won't end on a simple note.
It's just as I intended. Raphael continues to improvise with my performance. When we leave the stage, the audience's thunderous applause erupts from below. I finish my speech and return to the backstage area. I can still hear the audience's praise.
Changing the script on a moment's notice is very much in line with your Majesty's style.
I only thought of a more suitable ending, but I still need to thank you for your cooperation. Did you like tonight's play?
Your Majesty never spoke to me like this before.
Is that so? What was I like in the past? I have already noticed it myself. I no longer formally speak with Raphael. As we head backstage, I review the holographic comment. The court and the Empress have reconciled. Could the reason be that Her Majesty and the Sanctard have a secret relationship? Did anyone see the Sanctard squeeze the Empress's hand? That was so romantic. What are they talking about? These people truly enjoy wild speculations.
A secret relationship? It's not entirely outlandish.
Even though the text is clear, Raphael acts as if he can't see it. He leans in toward my ear. My heart skips a beat and I cough while putting away the hologram. Their remarks don't upset you?
Why should I be upset?
Raphael stops. From here we can see fireworks being set off outside the palace. He reaches out and ignites a small flame. The fire rises into the air, gently bursts and merges into the night.
It's not unique. People can only speak freely when there's no plague or disaster. They can say whatever they want, without any constraints.
Raphael turns to look at me. In the firelight, we lock eyes.
You were correct, Your Majesty. Tonight's revision was well done. The game between the god and the monarch won't end at that moment.
The day of my coronation has arrived. Before dawn, the entire palace is already adorned with sashes and banners symbolizing royal authority. Envoys and overlords from various planets are waiting outside the gates. They are ready to celebrate the Empress's coronation. Before the coronation ceremony begins, I'm resting in the break room. Someone knocks on the door and I look up to see Raphael standing in the doorway. Raphael is wearing his robes. He has returned to being the lofty, untouchable Sanctarch in my memories. What urgent matter brings you here?
I'm here to deliver wine. Does that count as urgent?
After he enters the room, I see the wine bottle in his hands.
I promise to let Your Majesty taste it.
Come here, open the bottle. The lady in waiting quickly brings the wine. The purplish red liquid is served in 2 goblets made from special materials.
Your Majesty prepared for this?
Yes, ever since you said you wanted to treat me to wine, I ordered these to be crafted.
If I hadn't brought the wine, I never would have known.
Raphael picks up a goblet and traces its pattern for a long time. Yes, but nothing about it is regrettable. After all... I pick up the other goblet and clink it against the one in Raphael's hand. They only exist for this moment. Shortly after the coronation ceremony officially begins, Rafayel, as the Sanctarch, walks toward me.
I shall bestow upon you the crown that symbolizes glory. Starting from this moment, you will be revered by all. Your will shall become the will of the planet. Your Majesty, do you swear to protect the lands it reflects until you breathe your last? You shall bear solitude and glory all the while.
I do.
In the Stella Ocean's name, I shall bless you, my Empress.
Rafayel places the crown on my head. When our gazes meet, I give him a gentle smile. Rafayel, I believe this will only be the beginning.
I look forward to it.
The coronation ceremony is over. As promised, the first dance is with Rafayel. The ball has ended and it's almost midnight. I decline the offer to have my ladies in waiting escort me. Alone, I enter the garden. Without realizing it, I find myself in front of the giant aquarium again. In the same gentle season, even the flowing light in the water remains unchanged. And in a similar position, a familiar figure stands. You must really like this aquarium.
I wouldn't say that. In any case, I just happened to be passing by.
I walk to his side. The light blue light and shadows from the water envelop us. They create a dizzying illusion of us floating with the current. A quiet second passes, then Rafayel speaks.
Do you want to dance with me?
Didn't we just do that? Despite saying those words, I place my hand in Rafayel's palm.
It's not the same. That was between the Sanctarch and the Empress. Now, it's Rafayel and you.
In a secluded corner, stingrays glide lazily underwater. They occasionally chase two shadows that circle each other in a careful dance of discovery. The river of stars hangs low as two figures dance quietly together under the moonlight.